He walked into one of Boston's most expensive bars wearing a torn jacket and scuffed work boots. The kind of place where drinks cost more than groceries. The kind of place where image mattered more than intent. The manager wanted him gone in seconds. But the waitress saw something no one else did. And her next decision would quietly expose a secret that had been rotting inside the business for years. On the edge of Boston's financial district, tucked between glass towers and corner offices, stood the Sewell Lounge, a polished, upscale bar designed to impress. Dark walnut panels lined the walls, low amber lights softened sharp edges, and imported leather stools curved neatly along the bar. This was a place built for people who liked to feel important. Lawyers closed deals here. Bankers celebrated bonuses here. Consultants held quiet meetings over cocktails that cost more than a full tank of gas. People came to the Sewell to feel powerful, and anyone who didn't look the part was usually reminded of it. That reminder came swiftly for the man sitting alone at the bar. "We don't serve trash here. Take yourself somewhere else." The voice belonged to Marcus Hale, the floor manager. His blazer was perfectly pressed, his posture rehearsed, his authority sharpened by repetition. He sneered at the man seated at the bar, still wearing worn work boots and a jacket that had clearly lived a harder life than most of the patrons inside. The man didn't argue, that didn't raise his voice, that didn't even look offended. He simply asked for water and fries, the cheapest thing on the menu. Across the room, Naomi Carter watched it happen. Naomi was on her 5th double shift in a row. Her feet throbbed constantly now, a dull ache that never quite went away. She was a single mother, raising her 7-year-old son alone after walking away from a marriage that had promised safety but delivered control instead. Her life had become a math problem she never stopped solving. Rent, utilities, groceries, school supplies, medical bills. Every shift mattered. Every dollar had a purpose before it ever reached her hands. She knew Marcus's routine well. Embarrass the wrong customers. Protect the image. Move them out quickly. It was never written down, never officially discussed, but everyone understood the expectation. But something about the man's eyes stopped her. They weren't desperate, they weren't angry, they were tired. The same tired Naomi saw in her own reflection every night. She walked over anyway. Naomi had grown up in Dorchester, raised by parents who never had much, but never acted like it defined them. Her father worked maintenance jobs across the city, fixing what others ignored. Her mother cleaned offices at night, humming softly while wiping down desks that belonged to people who would never know her name. Money was always tight, but dignity was never optional. Her father used to say, "The world will take enough from you. Don't help it by forgetting who you are." Naomi carried those words with her long after he passed. When she married young, she believed she was choosing stability. What she found instead was dependence disguised as protection. When she finally left, she left quietly with almost nothing but her son, Liam, and a borrowed car with a cracked windshield. Rebuilding wasn't dramatic. It was invisible. One shift at a time. One paycheck at a time. One deep breath at a time. So when the man quietly asked, "What's the cheapest thing here?" she didn't hear weakness. She heard survival. She paused, looked at him, not with pity, but with recognition. Then she made a decision. "I'll be honest with you," Naomi said softly. "The kitchen made extra burgers tonight. New cook, still learning portions." She leaned in slightly, lowering her voice. "One of them is going to be thrown away in a few minutes. Would you be willing to help us out?" The man froze. I don't have money for that," he said carefully. "It's already paid for," Naomi replied gently. "And between you and me, someone who's worked as hard as you deserves more than just fries." The noise of the bar faded into the background. For a full 5 seconds, the man couldn't speak. His mouth opened, then closed again, his throat tightened. Finally, he whispered, "Why would you do that for me?" Naomi smiled, not big, not dramatic. "Because everyone who walks through that door matters." He nodded, unable to say anything else. The man's name was Daniel Reed, and hours earlier, Daniel had been sitting alone in a corner office overlooking the same city, staring at an anonymous email that refused to leave his screen. "They're stealing from your people." Daniel wasn't broke, that he wasn't homeless, he was the owner of the Sewell Lounge. Daniel's father had opened the original Seawell 30 years earlier as a neighborhood bar near the docks. It wasn't elegant. It wasn't exclusive. It was honest. Dock workers, teachers, and city employees sat shoulder to shoulder. Everyone knew everyone's name. When his father passed away, Daniel inherited more than a business. He inherited a philosophy. For a while, he honored it. Then came investors, expansion, consultants, metrics, growth strategies. Somewhere along the way, Daniel trusted dashboards more than people. The email changed that. So he went undercover. From near the kitchen pass, Marcus noticed everything. The worn jacket, the long conversation, the extra attention. He cornered Naomi. "What did you just do?" "Kitchen waste," she said calmly. "It was going to be thrown out." "That's a $24 item," Marcus snapped. "Then take it out of my tips," Naomi replied quietly. "Oh, I will. And you're cut early tonight." Naomi didn't argue. She simply nodded and returned to the kitchen. Daniel heard every word. Moments earlier, he had been overwhelmed by kindness. Now, that emotion hardened into something heavier. This wasn't generosity being punished. This was exploitation being normalized. If this moment resonates with you, if you believe dignity at work matters, pause for a second and subscribe to this channel. Stories like this deserve to be told and shared and remembered. When Naomi returned, she didn't just bring the burger. She added sweet potato fries, a small salad, and a chocolate dessert tucked neatly beside the plate. "You didn't order this," Daniel said. "I know," Naomi replied. "Long weeks deserve chocolate." Before she walked away, she met his eyes. "How you treat people when nobody's watching, that's who you really are." Daniel stared at the plate. This was no longer an investigation. This was a reckoning. As Daniel watched Naomi move through the room, serving with grace while being quietly punished, he realized something painful. The business was profitable, the reviews were glowing, but the foundation was cracking. She thought she was feeding a stranger. She had no idea she was waking the owner. Daniel forced himself to eat slowly, not because he wasn't hungry, but because he needed time. Time to watch. Time to notice what spreadsheets never showed. At 7:30 p.m., an elderly couple entered. Naomi intercepted their seating and gave them the best table in the house. At 8:15, a rude customer snapped his fingers. Naomi treated him with dignity. At 8:50, Marcus cut her shift. She still protected every table. At the end of the night, Daniel watched her open an envelope. No shock, no anger, just acceptance. He left knowing the truth. Saturday morning, Daniel reviewed security footage. 43 thefts, 18 months, over $30,000. By Monday, the evidence was complete. The meeting was called. When Daniel revealed himself, Naomi nearly collapsed. The footage played, the receipts followed, the truth stood undeniable. Marcus was escorted out. Daniel stayed. "What happened here," he said quietly, "is my failure." He changed everything. No forced tip pooling, full transparency, anonymous reporting, restitution with interest. When Naomi opened her envelope, her knees buckled. "It was always yours," Daniel said. Then he offered her the assistant general manager position. Full benefits, full medical coverage for her son. Years of fear lifted at once. She said yes. Months later, the Seawell was different. Not louder, not flashier, better. Naomi trained new staff with one rule. Everyone who walks through that door matters. Daniel returned openly, no disguises needed. The systems worked. The people thrived. Nothing had changed. And everything had. If you've ever felt invisible at work, if you've ever been treated as less than you deserved, this story is for you. Subscribe to the channel, share this story, and help remind the world that dignity is not optional. She never knew the man she fed would change the system. He never forgot the woman who treated him like he mattered.